I'm Tim Bradner. Welcome to Capital Views. We're here today with Tyson Fick, the Communications Director of ASME, Alaska Seafood Marketing Association. So Tyson, you're in the fish marketing business, and as I understand it, ASME doesn't sell fish itself. It helps people sell fish. Is that right?
Right. I like to say we don't traffic in fish, we traffic in the notion of fish. And as a full-service marketing organization, that encompasses public relations, advertising, which most people would associate with marketing, but also helping to open markets in a much more traditional way, and help with quality, care and handling, educational programs, things like that.
So this is for all Alaska fish species?
This is all species, all region. In fact, by statute, we're prohibited from promoting any particular company or any particular region over another.
And it's a unique structural organization to it too. You're mostly industry funded, as I recall.
We are
small amount of state funds, and federal funds.
A combination thereof, right? So we have industry funds, which is 0.5% tax at ex-vessel. So when the fisherman sells the fish over the dock, a tax is collected, which is put into a pool that all of the industry uses for generic Alaska seafood marketing. There's a state general fund contribution and then an additional about $4.5 million from the federal government through the market access program.
Yeah. And Tyson, what I've heard from time to time, I've heard that ASME has really been able to come to the rescue of the industry where there's been, in Alaska we have large unexpected fish harvests. We could wind up with a lot of inventory. And just this happened last year with sockeye salmon, as I recall. And you folks mounted a very impressive marketing program to help unload that inventory.
We're pretty proud of it, yes. 2013 was a record salmon run in terms of numbers of fish. 2015 was a record salmon run in terms of poundage. And it followed on a big year in Bristol Bay in particular in 2014. So the packers, the processors, were left with inventory both of cans and of frozen sockeye going into this season on top of what was already predicted to be maybe a record harvest. It turned out to be pretty much in there, a huge run, 50 million fish, something like that.
And all that inventory depresses prices.
Absolutely, and there was global inventory. There was a huge Fraser River run previously. Farmed salmon supply has been going through the roof. So to help alleviate that market fluctuation, the board allocated an additional $1.5 million on top of our existing $22 million kind of plan to address particularly sockeye salmon. But
so what did you do, and how did it work?
It worked well. Domestically, we did in-store demos. So right at the point of sale, helping folks be comfortable with an easy way to cook sockeye salmon. The retailers got on board, and we had 5,000 individual demo days that saw an average lift of about 50%, but in some cases more like 250%.
Now that means the sales at the store increased 250%.
Yeah, of sockeyes in particular, and they were going back and looking for more product with as successful as that was. And we're going to look to pattern that through the Lenten season that's coming up. It's sort of like the fishmonger's holiday. And then we did that overseas in Japan as well. We ran some promotions in the UK, which is our largest traditional canned salmon market, that saw lifts upwards of 800% in sales and over 1,000% in volume.
Wow.
So we're looking at targeting moving product and getting it through the system in a big way to help alleviate that real stress that the industry was feeling.
Yeah, so did it work? I mean, did you get the inventories down?
By and large, there's positives. It's moving. The numbers are so huge, and at the end of the day, everybody who's cooperative at the ASME table are all competitors with each other too. So it's something of a card game to try to figure out exactly who has what and where it's located. Yeah,
but still, why, Tyson? Why does it help to have it must help to have one marketing organization do this. And ASME is the perfect model for that, but it'd be very difficult for the companies to do this by themselves, I gather.
Particularly in seafood, because
small companies
even the large companies, it's something their business is based more kind of on a commodity basis. So maybe some of their customers source from 2 or 3 different places throughout the season, maybe different companies. Well, if we focus our marketing and our branding and our messaging effort through a central point, that message stays consistent, and the consumers around the world understand Alaska maybe more so than each individual river system, each individual company, that sort of thing. And then we can make that available to all companies, large and small.
And that really helps us kind of brand ourselves. It strengthens our brand.
Absolutely. When you look at salmon, if you account for farm salmon, we're only like 12 to 15% of global supply. So we can't just constrict or expand production and move the market or demand a particular price. We need to create a niche and have people really asking for Alaska and be more than just a place on the map.
So is Alaska wild salmon? I've seen it in places out of state markets. Is there enough of a price advantage with it? I mean, does the Alaska brand really help us?
We definitely get a premium. Frozen sockeye fillets get a premium on fresh Atlantic salmon fillets. I just heard yesterday from our food service director that we've actually taken over certified Angus beef as the #1 most branded protein on restaurant menus in the United States.
Alaska salmon.
Wild Alaska seafood. So
that's amazing. Yeah.
If purveyors are going to be providing it, they're going to tell their customers about it because it's recognized as the best in the world.
Yeah. Well, Tyson, thanks for joining us.
Right.
I'm Tim Bradner. Thanks for joining us, and we're with Tyson Fick of ASME. Tyson, thank you.
Thanks for having me.